I think you'll find Chapter 7 interesting because it takes a look at the B2B world as far as decision making, and this ties to Chapter 6, which was the B2C or business to consumer world. Essentially, the difference, I mean, in a macro sense, but you'll find this out as you read, is that the decision-making process, as you might guess, is different for a consumer, or has different variables than does the professional buying, quote unquote, that takes place in the business world. So if you are dealing with a professional buyer, somebody that works in procurement or purchasing, they've got a different set of constraints, motivations than does a consumer. Organization, and it's just like any decision in an organization. I mean, that's kind of a good way to think about it, is organizations exert pressure, their own whole set of pressures on decision making, just like the family decision to go on a vacation exerts pressure, because you've got ma, you got pa, you got kids. They exert pressure on that decision. In an organization, it's a different family. And that's a kind of an easy way to think about it. But without going into too much detail, because the chapter is very self-explanatory, this is good to understand, especially for those of you that work in the B2B world, or maybe on the buying end or the selling end, or just want to understand it more clearly. This is more of an org behavior chapter than anything else in that sense. So, and it's a tough nut to crack. It's tough to sell in the B2B world, even harder or more difficult than in the B2C world, because to dislodge a competent supplier for a company and you want to go in there and compete, that is a very tall order, because if there's one thing that purchasing agents or procurement people are loath to do, and that's take a risk. And your price point, even if it's way better, is that still they're just not into taking risks. They really are not, especially if their boss is happy with paying X. Even if it's 20% cheaper, I mean, they're going to look at that with suspicion, shall we say. But you read it and see what you think, but do take note.